Ooh, we're gonna try out something different. Okay. Hey guys. Okay, so yeah, this is the meeting that me, Rob, and Mr. Sergey do for the Yang Gang Media, also known as what else did Rob call it? Scrolling through it, Yang Gang Propaganda Machine. Zoom meeting. Just testing this out. Maybe this won't record it all, but we'll see. I'm sorry, there's noise, but I'm gonna like, oh my god, I gotta like make way too much noise. It's better. It's freaking better. Okay. Okay. Not entirely sure how much time we have here because I know Zoom will just cut off after a certain time. But yeah. Should be okay. Got the pink hat on. Thank you, Andrew. Hector. The last name is starts with an M, but thank you, Andrew. Let me see, like, oh, hey,
all right, made it.
Awesome. Ain't no worries. Yeah, Rob.
We had a show last night, and some of the guys that we know from Rocky Mount, they're Bernie bros. So we were just hanging out, talking shit, you know. But no, they're good people. They're good people. Because they tried to get him elected last election, and they were so disheartened with what happened. So like I feel it. Just good people. So we were hanging out for a little bit.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, I wanted to like record these conversations. So I like there's like this. Yeah, I just press record on the Zoom app and I can do that. So are you okay with that? Just testing it out. Maybe
yes.
on like YouTube or something.
Yes. No, I'm good with being recorded. That's part of the persona.
I know, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. I want to wait for Rob. But damn it. I want to talk. Okay. How was your morning?
Well, I just looked into my Gmail account and Andrew Yang official 4th qualifying poll.
Yeah.
Did you get that?
Yes. I found out on Twitter in one of the the group DMs and like they're like, oh my God, he hit it. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I did because I was talking to them and like we avoid that because they're they're not for Yang at all,
Right.
And so and I'm not for Bernie at all. So we avoid that. So
yeah.
I had to contain my excitement. I'm like sitting there the whole time like.
Damn.
I knew it was gonna happen. I wasn't worried, but it's nice to celebrate. I'll buy a bottle of champagne tonight and get a little crazy.
Your pizza and everything. Yeah. I mean, it's worth celebrating. What I knew we were gonna get it. It was just a matter of when, like, because they were holding back this poll for so long. I'm like, Jesus, guys, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they can. That's what I say. Voldemort can't stop the Rock. That's my new thing.
I know, but I will say this: like, it's so strange. I don't know like how much this poll was affected by this previous debate, but it seems like something is a bit off because I mean I'm not a big Bernie fan either, but seeing at 9% is really weird. Like I don't believe that.
Seeing Bernie at 9%?
Yeah, the same poll that this one that just came out. Yang was at 2. I think Gillibrand was at 2. Tom Steyer, he's at 3% because he has a bunch of money to I see his ads everywhere. So he's buying up all these ads. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude.
I can't believe that a billionaire is he's a billionaire. And like Andrew Yang's not a billionaire. So
No.
what? I don't get it. Yeah, Steyer. Every time, so I chose to follow Steyer, and so every time he gets I just use his advertisements to advertise Yang, because I know, and I do that to because like basically, every time I see like a Pete Buttigieg advertisement or anytime I see a Warren advertisement, I stay away from Bernie because I know that like I just too hardcore and I can't change their mind. And everybody's excited about the Joe Rogan interview with Bernie, but like nobody cared when Yang went on. It's like, come on, or everybody like complained when Yang went on. It's like, oh, you guys are such bitches. You're just the next Hillary. But yeah, I just use their advertisement power against them, and because like every time I see an ad, I'm just like, oh, also here's the best candidate for this, and then so what he started, I guess, he's got people working on the staff, so they messaged me and they were like, are you definitely gonna vote for Yang? And I was like, absolutely, I'm gonna vote for Yang. And then he said something like, would you consider Yang to be, like, if Yang doesn't get the presidency, or the nomination, would you consider him being in a cabinet? And I was like, I'm not answering this question because he's going to be the president.
Exactly.
And then I get a reply. We're just looking for a yes or no answer. I'm just like, whatever. Doesn't matter.
I love you, man. Exactly, man. Like typically I can compromise with people, but with this I'm not compromising on. Forget that.
Yeah, it's like if he doesn't, it doesn't matter. Like why are you, you're not gonna change my mentality on it. Like, what surprises me is that like it's that 2% number that we can't seem to break. Like we get 3% sometimes, but I guess it's just name recognition. But it seems like anybody that knows Yang is like, yes, Yang, and anybody that doesn't, I mean, and of course, like people that are supporting other candidates know Yang, so that I don't count those people. But it's like it's your voters who actually matter because they're the majority. Those people, if they know him, they are for him. And like I said yesterday, the gas station person, I saw her again today, and I was like, hey, do you have time to check out Andrew Yang? She's like, I don't have time. And I'm like, oh, I get it. Like we talked about it yesterday. She's like, but I remember, and that's she's like, I remember, and I will vote for him. And I was like, that's what matters. Like if you, as long as I was able to tell you that, and you're just from that, you're like, yep, there's nobody else that even cares about us right now. So that was super exciting.
Oh, that's really cool.
Any word on Rob?
Yeah, so he thought that I was gonna send him this link through his email. I was like, wait, it's in the text message. I'll do it both ways for him. But yeah, that's what happened there.
Okay.
Meeting, but he's like ready to go. I can't wait for that to happen. Okay, here we go. I think we'll be here in like a couple of minutes or so. He's in Dublin right now, so he's doing his thing. He actually made a YouTube video. Made a YouTube video in like 3 years. But he made one today that was super dope. So yeah, that's really cool, guys.
Oh, today?
Yeah.
Okay, definitely send me that link.
Will do. But yeah, DC's coming on shortly. But yeah, like my experience with film baking, I only did it, 2 days. About an hour piece, but my experience was like 95% of people don't want to talk, like in general, and especially when you bring up politics, it's just, oh snap, here you are, hear you. Keep talking though.
Oh, he left.
Okay, he's probably gonna like switch to his phone to like have his mic heard. But ooh.
Hello?
I hear you now. It's like muffled, kind of, but keep talking.
Do you hear any background noise? I'm sort of in like the main area, but am I good?
No, we're good. Yeah, I hear some background noise, but I think you're okay right now.
Okay, this is like the best Wi-Fi area where I am.
That's totally fine. I know you're in a rough spot, so I understand.
Well, kinda. I guess it's all perspective, but it's nice. It's like 66 degrees out right now.
Yeah, I saw your video. You look really happy, so I'm glad.
Well, thank you. I was really baked last night. I watched your interview with Terry on your channel, but I totally forgot you had it there.
Dude, I was like, wait, he doesn't know this video is up right now. I'm like, okay.
I was just like, I don't know. I brought my packs. I brought like a gram of weed and
All right.
go out last night. But yeah. Anyway.
And I have this recording as well. I know you probably don't mind, but I may put some on like YouTube or something like that to to show people. All right, yeah, okay, cool. Okay, but yeah, so basically, yeah, I mean, my experience with phone banking was that most people don't want to talk about politics, and the people that I got to have like a solid conversation, two people were more so interested in Sanders. Really, most people were like anybody but Trump. Interesting. But
I don't feel that way.
I know we don't feel that way because we will vote for Trump in a hot minute if if like Biden will get the nod.
If Yang doesn't get it, we gotta vote for the candidate that will get him in 4 years.
But
so I think what's gonna happen is Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I was saying that I did get 1%. Oh, I did get one person that was like a Biden supporter. But other than that, like, I did spread the word of Yang, and hopefully that helped. But yeah, you're good, Sergey.
So what I learned works for phone. Are you still there? Because it's got your video feed is frozen also.
Oh, really?
Okay, so as long as I can hear you. So what I learned works is instead of calling and being like, "Hi, I'm with the presidential camp," or "I'm with the Andrew Yang campaign," I start out by saying, "Hi, I'm a volunteer with the 2020 election," and then I say that I'm working for that I'm working for the campaign to get Andrew, for the presidential campaign of Andrew Yang. And I lead with the election, and then I ask them, and then I say I'm a volunteer with the 2020 election, and we're just trying to gather information on what the voters, we're trying to gather information on what issues matter most to voters, and also identifying who they're leaning towards. And then, like, when they say yes, I have the time, that's when I, full disclosure, I'm working on the presidential campaign to get Andrew Yang elected. Have you heard of this person? And, and then I lead with the questions. But when you mention a candidate's name, or even when you say the word president, that's when they're like, I don't want to hear it. But if you can say, I'm a volunteer with the 2020 elections, well, now they're wondering, like, what kind of volunteer are you? You probably aren't with Trump. Are you just, what are you doing? And especially when you say, like, I just want to know what you think matters. I want to know what matters to you in the upcoming election. And then, like, talking to people's humanity like that opens them up. And then, of course, like, I don't try to mislead them. I still full disclosure. Then afterwards, I'm working for presidential campaign Andrew Yang. Have you heard him? Who are you leaning towards? If you haven't heard them, I immediately go. So freedom dividend doesn't always seem to be the best case. So I lightly touch on the $1,000 a month. But then I also make sure to include that into that and democracy dollars, which is $100 to every citizen to donate free to donate to any campaign they wish to make sure that we wash lobbyists out. And that's the one that they seem to be like, wait a minute, regardless of whether I'm for Trump or Sanders, Biden, I want government bureaucracy out. I want lobbyists to stop being a thing. So, like, that's another good hook for him. And it's actually the people. It's funny that, like, the campaign is trying to pull more women into the side, because it seems like we're skewed mostly male.
Yeah.
Because when I phone bank, it's elderly women that are most for women.
Wait, hey, Rob, can
elderly women that have been like, I love them.
Because, like, the background is getting a bit. Can you mute your mic for, like, a moment? You can, like, you cut it back one when you talk with ads for a moment.
Oh. But yeah, just saying that, like, it's the elderly women that seem to really hear the message of what Yang is trying to say. And I think it definitely, it speaks to the motherhood that he relates to, the caregiving, and I know, and I don't really know besides that why, but those have been the people that I've been able to talk to, the most, and who are actually interested. And some of them will, and also, and then I did have a couple of Jewish men that were also super interested, which is big for me, because I know that like half the reason why Biden is what he is like his association with the Obama campaign is helping him, one, and then the other part of it is I don't know why, but Jews love Biden. They freaking love him. I don't know why they don't like Sanders, but he seems to really resonate with the Jewish community, and like I'm part of the Jewish community, so like that's how I know that like they just seem to really really like him for whatever reason.
Alrighty, yeah,
yeah.
I'm glad. Okay, cool. I'm glad we recorded this because when I was phone banking, like me and like a couple other people that were phone banking on Twitter, they were saying the same thing that you were saying. Like the script is not the best script laid out, so they like adjusted to make it more open for people, not specifically just for Andrew Yang, but like getting it like be more of a natural conversation. Like, hey, is so home? Like I love what you said. We're trying to gather insight of people interested in the 2020 election, and then going into
what do you care about?
Yeah, make sure you keep directing it to them and not to us, because like people get real defensive, especially on the phone. I get real nervous on the phone. So that's great. And yeah, okay. So doesn't have to be all about phone banking, because obviously, like, yeah, Rob, before you came, we were freaking out about Andrew making the fourth debate. Or the fourth qualifying poll for the debate. What are you thinking? Excited?
Yeah, no, I mean, I wasn't worried about getting into Houston, but yeah, I think it's just making it. Most Americans are not going to be engaged right now for good reason. We all know this. So if you make it about them and ask them what they think, I think it's good. And it comes back down to, if we are sort of being somewhat evangelical for the campaign, it's like we want to find the people that this message immediately speaks to. We don't need to like sell them on it big time. It's like we'll let the product sell itself. That's kind of like the salesman I am, and I think it's still really early. We keep on forgetting that it's August. It's like the primaries are August, September, October, November, December, January, February, 6.5 months away. So I mean, we got our work cut out for us, but at the same time, most people probably won't pay attention until after the new year. I mean, I'm looking back at previous election cycles, and that's usually what happens. So yeah, that's kind of what I think. I talked to Seth Adam Cohen about the super PAC. Do you talk to him, Sergey? Do you guys want to talk about this?
Yeah, let's talk about it. I mentioned this to Sergey for a brief moment when we last talked, but this guy, Seth Adams Cohen, we assume is probably Jewish as well, is doing this similar to us. So yeah, Rob, take it away.
So okay, I think we as the Yang Gang know that we have to sort of play by the DNC's rules. We kind of have to, in order to kind of get what needs to be done. And obviously, he's been going around them. Edge 3 Productions, all the podcasts he's been on, it's been great. So we can go around the media. But I don't think we can go around the DNC. That's the thing I think needs to be sort of fleshed out more. So I've always been like, okay, yeah, PACs and super PACs not good. They are, it's money in politics and blah 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 blah. But so basically, Lisa told me about this guy who was doing something similar. I just sent him a request on Facebook, and we started talking. And he's like, yeah. So essentially, he wants PACs to be gone totally after this election when Andrew Yang's president. And essentially, PACs are the ones that are bad, but you can have dark money. But super PACs, everything's transparent, and we're actually still unofficial. We're not actually part of the campaign. A super PAC would not be part of the campaign. So that's sort of the operation that I want to sort of be a part of, is focus on the Yang Gang, the community, and the movement in an unofficial role. That way, we're not subject to all the nitpicking of the rules and the green lighting of the campaign. Because I mean, yeah, they are understaffed and underfunded, so it's going to be hard for them to give us oversight, promptly and quickly. So I'm going to talk to more people about this and look more into it. But I do think it's a good idea, because basically, he said it's basically a legalized form of the Yang Gang. That's what the super PAC would be. It'd be about the Yang Gang, and not about like, he won't take any corporate money. He will try to find some wealthy people to make donations, but it's the dark money that gets into PACs is what really controls things. Not these like super PACs from what I've seen so far. But yeah, so essentially, I was sort of like, okay, if I'm going to be unofficial, it'd be hard for them to come after us. And but I do think that there will come a time once we get this big, YouTube, Google and YouTube and maybe even Facebook will try to shut us down. But basically, the super PAC will be the teeth that we need, for attorneys and that legal infrastructure needed. So that way, we're all not in the same position needing it. And so, yeah, I think that he's sort of fighting a similar battle. He just wants to create exposure for Andrew Yang creators. And yeah, Sergey, you want to do print art, physical art, which is great. I think Instagram is something that I could do. We need someone on Twitter. We basically need someone on every platform, for every medium, to be sort of the curator for it. That way, it's one centralized place to collect it, and then it's one centralized place to distribute it. So I think that, and he kind of said my same exact sentiments, that this could be a loose confederation, federation, network, league, whatever, to where it's it can be. We could have our own name for each thing we want to do. It'll just have to be part. We'll put in fine print somewhere. This is part of the Humanity Forward Super PAC. And you can go to the website. But yeah, I mean, people see it. It's all about being transparent, and that's why I like it, because I think that's one of the biggest problems in our system is that things aren't really transparent. But I think, yeah, he's we don't want to usurp anybody's, creations and stuff. It needs to be the channel to amplify, because, I think we all find gang stuff every day, and we're like, holy shit, why didn't we know this existed? And this would be sort of the place that people can easily much, because from my marketing experience, people most people want to be spoon-fed information.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, from when when I was working at startup last year, I didn't realize it until it was over, but people want to be spoon-fed information. So we just got to make it, we're just going to make it easier for Yang Gang content distributors to distribute. And that's all it is. It's just we're making the connections for all the artists on whatever platform that we're going to run. And then we're going to have the connections of the Yang Gang, excuse me, local organizers' accounts, and just distribute the shit. There obviously will be a network of people working with each other on a regular basis. So that's kind of what I see about this. I'm all in on the Yang Gang and this movement, because it's much bigger than Andrew Yang and this country. This thing could really sort of take off everywhere. I'm watching some videos of the Yellow Vest protests in France. They're they're kind of the same thing. Shit's expensive, and that's kind of what.
Shit's expensive, exactly. Okay, yeah. Really quick. Yeah, you're right. I like Seth's perspective on eliminating PACs, and really focus on super PACs, because yeah, that is transparency. When you're super PAC or when you're that kind of a system, you have to make sure people know what you're doing with that money, which I think would definitely help Yang's campaign a lot. And also, again, we want to be the bridge to people that are just getting into this whole scene. For instance, I've been on Reddit a lot, and this person, Ryan from Indiana, he was saying listen, I want to volunteer, but I can't seem to. He's been going on the Facebook groups and the Slacks, and there's not a lot of communication there. So he's okay, I don't really want to phone bank, because it doesn't seem like that would really be helpful. And I was yeah, I definitely understand. Me and Sergey on the same page. Phone banking is good, but it's not the answer. And I know the campaign is pushing that.
The long run answer, yeah. I think it's good for the short run. I think we have sort of seen some progress on both.
Yeah.
There are people that are really good at doing it, but I'm not really a small talk salesman. I'm not gonna just try to sell you on this. I understand it does. I think the more I've seen it now, I was very skeptical at first. It does have a purpose, and so if we can get those people there and sort of incentivize them, that's great. But I think we got to have some sort of long run solution. That's kind of what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Just feeding people content. I think if you're gonna build a brand nowadays online, you've got to be posting on Instagram once a day.
I know.
So,
and I told Ryan, I'm listen, he said, he responded to me and well, I can't barely draw six figure. I don't know how well I'd be good with creating content. I'm listen, I also said in the previous reply to him, I said keyboard warriors as well. We need people that will comment on YouTube and will connect with people on Twitter and the Discord. The Discord was popping yesterday because of the H3 H3.
Yeah, I need to like retweet some other stuff.
We gotta get into that as well for a bit because that was just amazing.
Yeah, I watched almost the whole thing. It was great. Oh my god, it was
fourth
so good.
trending on YouTube, which is fucking
Really?
impossible. Yeah, it got that's the highest it got was fourth trending.
I saw it like 8.
Yeah, this morning I woke up and it was still fourth. Number one is still the Bernie Sanders, Joe Rogan interview, but I at like the likes and dis ratio to that is like 1 to 7. Like it had mostly likes, but there's a good chunk that were people disliking it. But compared to Yang, it was like a 1 in 17. So like most people really liked Yang's. It has less views, but I mean I looked at the comment section. I was all up in there last night, and I could barely fall asleep because I was obsessed with talking to people. But yeah, people were very positive on Yang. I was
okay. Yeah. See, so what I also want to do is help create more structure within local Yang gangs. Like I'm in my Athens Yang gang, so I'm going to be helping basically remotely for the most part. I'm going to be there like once a month to do tailgates because it's a great way to do outreach. So what I'm going to do is like I have like I'm going to have a sign up sheet for like at least 2 people per position. That way it gets managed. So I'll have like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We have GroupMe. We have events. I want to see how corporate sponsorships could play a role. It's like, hey. This local like restaurant, hey, can you sponsor our meeting with food? I'm just gonna go like off the radar right now with this, but I think like having a super PAC to like help us out with that would be good. And I'll be like, hey guys, because I mean, if I was gonna run a restaurant, I would much rather have UBI as opposed to $15 an hour because that way it's the biggest shit subsidizing the labor and not taxpayers and not small businesses providing the labor. So I think like. Local Yang gangs, if we can kind of like flesh that out, I think we can get some like local sponsorships. Bucharest Grill. I think up in Detroit. I mean, I really think that local restaurants would want to help out because UBI is much more aligned with their interests than $15 an hour. So I think people are gonna like see that because I think $15 an hour does sound great, but if you look at the alternatives, we have a better alternative in UBI.
Yeah.
But anyone wants to donate? Yeah, go ahead, Sergey.
Oh, yeah.
I'm doing the Bernie thing.
Oh yeah.
I think honestly, I want to know what Bernie thinks about UBI. But go ahead.
You didn't get to have the freaking interview, but anyway, Sergey, go ahead. Oh, where'd you go? Oh, here you are.
Sorry, I think my phone is like going crazy because everything's popping off. Everybody's messaging and and everything. So just real quick, one thing on the restaurant thing, yes, especially if you could talk to servers and be like, hey, are you getting $15 an hour, server? Are you getting $15 an hour, busboy? Anybody that's tipped, you're not getting that $15 an hour. You're still getting stuck at 3, 2, or whatever somebody wants to pay you, 5 maybe. You're not even getting the 9 or 7 that we're guaranteed.
Servers for Yang.
So
servers for Yang. I love it.
Nobody in the service industry is gonna. I mean, valets. So many people are tip based, and I mean tip based. It was literally created to basically continue the idea that you don't have to pay your workers.
Yeah.
But the other thing is in what I think might work is I'm wondering, everybody's like, call your state representative about the shootings and make them do the blah, 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 blah. Yes, do that. Awesome. But also go to your local town halls. Go to your local city hall, governor's meeting.
Democratic.
I'm trying to, like, if I can connect with Gretchen and be like, yo, Gretchen, you're this progressive. You're supposed to be like this progressive governor, and you're trying to do all these things. Or like Debbie Stabenow, like you're actually not as great as people. People know that you're pretty shitty. We literally voted for you because you're a Democrat.
I know.
And then the more local you get, the better it's probably going to be. Like school boards, superintendents, teachers. But that's not political. But really, just like your police chiefs, your firefighter chiefs, your anything like that. Like considering that right now, firefighters and police officers have to make phone calls to get donations to make sure that they get enough money because they're underfunded. But like if the community has $1,000 a month for every citizen, they'll probably be more willing to donate money to the local chapters. And I think that's a good way for us to start building, and it goes on what you said, like we can't fight the DNC. No, we can't. But if we can get some local governance on our side, then we can start fighting the DNC. That's how we can stick it to them. That's how we can be like, hey, I understand that you got these like senators and governors that are for, Sanders and Harris and these prosecutors or whatever and these lawyers. But if we can get like the mayors of municipalities, the mayors of really small states to bet even one or two. If we can get one or two per state, that'll be huge. That'll be and then the other angle is like, I don't know how we can do this, but Justin Amash. Have you guys followed Justin Amash at all?
I don't think.
So Justin Amash was a Republican who on July 4th declared he was a Republican. He spoke out against Trump. Then Trump spoke out against him. And then this July 4th, he claimed his independence from the Republican Party, and now he's just an independent. And he is he's a representative in Michigan. And he still has a lot of support. Like Trump really tried to beat him down, but he wouldn't have declared it would have been political suicide for him to do that if he did it, but it wasn't. And he still has a lot of support in Michigan. And, the people still seem to love him and to rally, and he's still a conservative. And he's still, he's not a great guy. He's still a politician. He still has his, like you said, his dark money coming into him, but he's someone that he's the most progressive Republican you will meet. Like so progressive that he left the party because of what's happening. You don't see people doing that. He's the only one that's done it. He skewed the one vote that I think they had a vote, and there was the majority of Democrats voted yes on it, the majority of Republicans voted no, and then there was one independent vote that sided with the Democrats. Well, that one independent vote was Justin Amash, a former Republican. So I don't know how we can get Yang Gang to like throw some love at him and be like, Justin Amash, you are like, there's no, it's kind of like, hey, Elon, wake up and just endorse him already, like endorse our boy. I almost feel the same way with Justin Amash. If we can get Justin Amash to be like, hey, I know it's not popular, but you haven't done anything popular so far. He's that outsider.
Connection.
Sergey, you're turning into a robot.
I know. Okay, robot.
I know. It still must be going crazy.
Here's my thoughts on this. This is why we need like the keyboard warrior Yang Gang task force.
Exactly.
Hey guys, we have a targeted strike, and we have to have, you know what I mean? Like if we want to we got to spam Gary Vaynerchuk, Snoop Dogg TV.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg.
Amash for doing that.
True.
Whatever. Like we can have goals for that. So. I think so we got to figure out who wants to do that. I don't know if I'm in the best position because it's like that's something that has to be like very, very organized online, and I'm not the most at least right now. So you want to do it?
I could do that. Yeah. I mean, listen, you
got to be the propaganda machine that lets people know that Kamal is a hoax.
People already, I've been saying it already. Like people already recognizing me like in different platforms. Like, oh yeah, listen from Twitter when I go on Discord or like whatever. So like I pretty much have a little bit of pull when it comes to okay guys, like, and this is what we have to pay attention.
Organize an airstrike. That's essentially what it is.
I can definitely when we get this thing off the ground, like I definitely think that I can like organize like where
airstrikes.
The drone strikes, exactly. It's like called.
I mean, this is airstrikes, so we're much more than drones. Yeah. Like we're pilots. We're not robots because drones are robots. Like we're not.
It's a soul strike. That's what we're striking. We're striking at the heart of people's souls.
Yeah,
that's
airstrike is a social media.
We're the campaign that has the most soul in it. I think that's where we capitalize. But as far as like not, I would love to be the person that like makes the phone calls or sends out the emails. Like once we organize an idea of what kind of, like we talk to our fellow Yang Gang members and like, hey, are you in a municipality or a city with a very progressive mayor or somebody or a city council person or is there like a government politician who is very people minded, who's he's not party lined or she's not party lined. They're just more, they go out there and they do the whole grassroots thing. And if we can find a couple of those, like, I would love to be the person to make that phone call.
Yeah, no,
My
I think
ability is to be able to be non-polarizing, non-threatening, and just laying out the very, very, very base thing. Like, I'm intimidating with my friends and maybe, like, to some of the Yang Gang people, but that's because, like, I respect them enough to where I'm just going to give you my all passion. But, when I'm just talking to people of power or, anything or influence, yeah, like, that is a skill that I enjoy having, is being able to persuade people that normally wouldn't even want to talk to you.
No,
so
I've
what
noticed
is
that.
like, yeah.
Oh, sorry, bro. You can
I
go.
was gonna say it's essentially we need like a politics, infiltration division. That's what you would be, is like people that are already in power, but also like Andrew Hector, the guy we did the road trip with, has gone to his local DNC
Yes.
meetings. Like, so basically those two things, can be under that umbrella of party politics infiltration. Same thing, Republicans too. You go to like your local Republican meeting, let them know about Yang, and there may be a Republican governor, like I don't know, somewhere in Maine or Massachusetts that you know what I mean. So I think what we should do is I will put I'll make a Google Doc where I actually have some structure that I see so far. I'll send it to y'all, and y'all can sort of add stuff and like see fit, because this is definitely going to take a group effort to do, because like I said, I think we don't have the bandwidth to just like do this as our main job right now. If it paid, I mean, maybe it would someday, but like, right now it's like collective effort just to help each other, keep each other accountable. So like, I don't want to take anything on more than I can take on. So I did the same to y'all, as like, let's delegate and collaborate. But I'll have like we're all sort of in the know and basically putting out the information so that's very easily to consume and find out. Like, I'm sure like I'd post something on Instagram and then Twitter would pick it up and Reddit and all that, so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I think, reaching out to party politics infiltration is great, because those are people that are already ripe, with opinions. And as Andrew gets more popular, more and more people are going to be like, oh, this guy's legit. There's so many people that we talk to that are like, oh, I didn't know. Like at the watch party, Alyssa talked to people like, oh, we didn't really know he was a thing. Like, we thought it was just like a, very, very small, but they don't realize the grassroots of this campaign, and the airstrike potential. Like, we do have, I think, the best Air Force, on social media, on the internet, of any political campaign right now. We have the best potential and the best strategies. We just got to get the most, we need more funding. So the Yang Gang Air Force.
Yeah. No, it's true. Yeah.
Part of that, so I just found, like, I found my Grand Rapids, like, I'm in Grand Rapids, but I found like my Grand Rapids guy to run the Facebook page, who's going to run the event. Like, he wants to take off and just be like, hey, any local organization stuff, like, let me handle it. Can I do that? And I was like, please, absolutely. And I think that's like what we need. Each of us need that. Each of us need like a right hand, left hand, man, woman to, like, so now I have this Facebook arm. Great. Like, you do the Facebook and the local organization and make sure that we get people, if you create a phone bank, I'm going to be there. Like, I'm not going to be able to create the content, but I'm going to be there. You create a Yang Gang hang, I'm going to be there. I'm going to bring out my artist friends. We're going to be there. And then same thing with you guys. Like, we have these ideas, and you're right, it's too big. If we just had an extra one or two people, those people that they will keep, let them know, like, keep me in the loop, inform me of everything. And that's how, because then, if I have a person who's then doing the whole, because I would love to just kind of getting off of Twitter and have somebody else run the Twitter account. And then I'd really want to be, oh, awesome! They gave us a time extension. And then I want to be in the streets. Like, I want to be out there doing the thing with just connecting with people in the streets. I want to go out and have time to go to these city hall meetings. So we need to find what would really help us if we found two more people, just to, so they can have their meetings about the things that we want to be, like, we have the big meeting, and then we're like, yeah, I'm going to set, John to do this thing, and I'm going to send Sophia to do this thing. And then we're going to make sure that we get them to get their own meetings going, and they talk about something specific while we're talking about still like the cloud, the bigger picture thing. And
Yeah, I think just like having
That's
happy hours like every other week.
Yeah.
was that?
I said, yeah, I think just having, I started off just doing happy hours, you know. Athens was very slow this summer. I ended up having like 1 or 2 people for the first 3, but the last one, 8 people showed up. Like, great. So I think like just getting people together on a regular basis as a main group. And then like what I've found is like you can get people together as a group, but try to like siphon off one-on-one conversations, because if it's a group talk, it's hard to really get shit done. I try next time I'm gonna lay down the law, because I got there late the last one. It was sort of a big group table, but next time be like, hey guys, like let's try to meet people individually, because that's the best way to get things done. I'm just gonna go out and tell people, because you know that's just the best way to do it.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I love Sergey. I love your idea of actually going, cause like Rob said, Hector from our road trip, like he's in Miami and he is going to like these like school board meetings and these town meetings, like representing for Yang. So I definitely should do that too, because I'm in freaking Biden town in Delaware, and like again, like we met people that didn't like me when I said like, yeah, I live in Delaware and I don't like Biden, like I'm not a supporter. It's true. So I definitely go out there and like at least like get that one person that can connect me to like, you know, the local like establishment, like a crowd, so they can help us figure out what can we physically do that will like really our state go for Yang in the long run. So I love the idea of doing it.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're like in a city, like I know Cleveland had I don't know how it is now, but Cleveland had like a huge startup. They were trying to become like Silicon Valley 2 for a while, because they just had a lot of startups and businesses and in tech and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like maybe even like talking to people like, hey, not even Yang, but just bringing up universal basic income,
Automation and everything.
You know, on a local level. Like if universal basic income exists in Alaska and nowhere else, can we have a municipality-wide universal basic income? And I mean, the answer is probably going to be no, but the question being asked, and where it's not like, hey, I'm just here talking about Yang. Like, no, I'm just here talking about how can we, like, if you have a really big homeless population like we do in Grand Rapids, and you're like, hey, none of these programs are working, and the homeless people don't even want to go to a shelter because they feel like it's not safe, or they don't want it to be religiously affiliated, can we start like a big business UBI program to where we can start channeling money into the hands of people just because they're people? And again, the answer might be no, but you bring up the question and somebody in the audience is going to agree with you. They're probably going to come up and talk to you. Or somebody on the council will be like, hey, that's a good idea. Let's see if we can hash it out to where it doesn't sound like a UBI, like it could be something different, like an incentive-based program, which is something NPA wants to do anyway. It's to incentivize companies when they do good things. You know, we give back. But yeah, sorry, I'm just thinking now. Actually, but yeah. Thanks for letting me ramble.
No, it's all good. You have great. I mean, you're on the money with how to go about things, and I love like this is why I wanted to talk to you in Detroit, because I saw that you were like super. You knew how to talk to people and you knew how to connect with people in another level. So you like we'll try to make sure like to create a path where you can actually talk to people and like be on the ground when it comes to, you know, again, yeah, it's talking about UBI automation, just like how we value work, like in general. Like Rob made that case today about, you know, why Americans are so obsessed with work, and it's like a question we have to be like asking ourselves now, like especially now. I love it.
All right, I gotta run. I gotta go back to work. I'm already way over my time for lunch.
If you want to see my screen real quick, I'll share it real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's weird. Y'all are at lunchtime. I'm at like dinner. I'm starving actually. Hold on, how do I fucking share this?
That's okay. When you guys want to do this again, doesn't have to be like soon, but what do you think?
Let's take because I'm gonna have a really busy weekend. So with meetings and
we can do it next weekend.
With meetings and everything else. So and we can do it again like Monday at the same time. Like 12 works great for me on the weekdays because I'm just here eating lunch, and you know from 12 to 1 I am free. And then so yeah, and then the other reason is like I want to kind of organize all of my thoughts, because I'm having meetings with you guys, but then like other people, and then like the whole staff, and there's just so much that being thrown at me and I'm throwing at them that I want to really sit down and make a PowerPoint or make a just a list
You look at
to
my
where
Google Doc.
and then start prioritizing it, and then just like what is number one priority now, because I have all these ideas, but until I have 4 or 5 people working with me that I can siphon off work and just have like little divisions, I'm not going to be able to do 5 things at a time.
Check out my screen real quick. I have like
So,
this
yeah.
document of positions. You see it? You see it?
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, we see it.
Okay, so like
Yeah.
every gang needs like this right here. They need like the Facebook chief, coordinator, Instagram coordinator, Twitter coordinator, someone that wants to coordinate local events, whatever, happy hours, community relations, so like the politics goes into politics, all that kind of stuff, whatever. And then maybe a GroupMe or Slack. I don't really know if every Yang Gang uses that, but I think like for what we want to do, we're gonna need someone for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, Discord, Twitch, online meetups to organize those, regional events and meetups, political organization relations, physical and print art, local events, community relations, general. This is some of these are just generalized. And the GroupMe and then project manager, someone like that can like manage all that. So and I'll be like,
Hold on, leave that up for a second. I'm gonna take a screenshot of that.
I'll send it. You can. It's a Google Doc. I'll put you in on it.
Okay.
Or you can screenshot it too. You can screenshot it.
Got it. Because that's great. Because I'm thinking about trying to make Craigslist ads for help. Like, hey, I'm a volunteer.
Yeah.
And that's exactly like you just basically gave me my Craigslist ad right there.
And every local Yang Gang needs to build on this. Like I said, people. You can have like 3 people manage all 3 together, but there needs to be at least like so like I'm the main manager of my Athens Facebook group, but I'm also on the Instagram and Twitter. But I have someone else helping me post content. But I do need someone else to help take over for that. Once I sort of take on other responsibilities. So I think each one would probably need 2 people to just kind of like it's a buddy system. It's like hey, it's reminding you, did you post this today? And it's like double trouble. So
awesome. Thank you for making that.
All right, guys.
Yeah, we'll get out of here. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Of course. Thank you guys so much. This is amazing. You guys are absolutely the best. I love you all. Bye.
Bye.
So I need